Imagine every time it rains, hundreds of liters of usable water land on your roof, rush through the gutter, disappear down a drain, and are gone within minutes. Then, a few days later, the sun comes out, the soil dries, your plants begin to droop, and you turn on the tap to buy water for the same garden that Rainwater could have watered for free. That simple contradiction is what made me build this system. I wanted something cheap, simple, and useful. No electric pump, no expensive irrigation controller, no complicated plumbing, and no giant construction project. I wanted rain to fall on the roof, travel naturally into storage, and then move slowly toward the garden using gravity. Using a reclaimed container and roughly $12 worth of basic fittings in my case, I built a small water harvesting system that can capture rain when it is available and save it for the days when the garden actually needs it. Your exact cost will depend on what materials you already have and local prices, but the principle costs almost nothing to understand. And once you understand this principle, you may never look at rain falling from your roof the same way again. The water most gardens are throwing away. The first thing to understand is that a roof is already a giant water collector. You do not need to invent the collection surface. Your house, shed, greenhouse, garage, or small garden structure may already be doing most of the work. When rain falls onto that surface, gravity naturally moves it toward the lowest point. Gutters then concentrate that water into one or two downspouts. That means instead of trying to collect thousands of individual drops, we only need to intercept the water at one convenient location, and the numbers can become surprisingly large. A modest roof can collect a significant amount of water during a good rain. Even if you only capture part of it, that may be enough to water vegetable beds, young trees, flowers, herbs, or container plants for several days. So the goal of this system is not to create water. The goal is to stop wasting water that is already arriving for free. Step 1. Find a safe storage container. The heart of the system is the storage tank. You do not need an expensive commercial rain barrel to understand the idea. A clean, sturdy, reclaimed container can work well for garden irrigation, as long as it previously held something safe and non-toxic. Never use a container that held fuel, pesticides, industrial chemicals, solvents, or anything you cannot confidently identify. Saving a few dollars is not worth contaminating your soil. For my low-cost setup, the biggest saving came from reusing the storage container rather than buying one new. The money went mainly into small fittings, tubing, mesh, and connections. The container should also have a lid or covered opening. An uncovered barrel creates several problems. Leaves fall inside, insects can enter, sunlight encourages algae, and mosquitoes may find standing water attractive. A covered container is cleaner, safer, and much easier to maintain. I also placed mine on a stable raised platform. This is important because the higher the water sits above the garden outlet, the more gravity pressure you can create. You do not need a tower. Even a small increase in height can improve the flow through a hose or simple drip line. But whatever you place underneath the tank must be strong. Water becomes extremely heavy very quickly, so never balance a full container on unstable bricks, weak wood, or anything that could collapse. Step 2. Catch the rain before it escapes. Now we need to guide rain from the roof into the tank. The easiest location is usually near a downspout. Instead of allowing all the water to travel directly toward the drain, part of the flow can be redirected toward the storage container. The exact connection will depend on your gutter system, but the principle is always similar. Intercept the water, guide it through a pipe or hose, and send it into the covered container. This part should not be permanently sealed in a way that creates dangerous backups. If the tank becomes full, the rain still needs somewhere safe to go. That brings us to one of the most important pieces of the entire build. Step 3. Give excess water somewhere to escape. A rain barrel without an overflow outlet is incomplete. Imagine the tank fills during a heavy storm. Water continues arriving from the roof, but there is nowhere for it to go. It can spill around the foundation, flood the platform, damage the surrounding soil, or force water backward through the collection pipe. So near the top of the container, I created an overflow outlet. Once the tank reaches its maximum level, extra water automatically escapes through this opening and is directed away from the structure. You can send overflow toward another barrel, a rain garden, a safe drainage area, or another part of the landscape where the water will not damage the house. This one addition turns a simple barrel into a much more reliable harvesting system. And if you connect several containers together, something even more interesting happens. One tank fills, then the overflow feeds the next tank. Suddenly, a small system can become a modular water bank that grows as your garden grows. Step 4. Keep leaves and debris out. Rainwater may be free, but water coming from a roof is not automatically clean. Dust, leaves, seeds, insects, bird droppings, and small pieces of roofing material can all move toward the gutter. For garden irrigation, one of the simplest protections is a basic screen. I placed fine mesh where water enters the container, so larger debris cannot easily enter the storage tank. This makes a huge difference because once organic debris reaches the bottom of a barrel, it begins decomposing. Over time, that can create odors, sludge, and clogged fittings. The screen does not need to be complicated. It only needs to be removable so it can be cleaned. After storms, I check it quickly, remove trapped leaves, and make sure water can still pass through freely. If your roof collects a lot of dirt, you can also improve the system by allowing the first dirty runoff from a storm to bypass the tank before cleaner water enters. More advanced rainwater systems call this first flush diversion. You do not necessarily need an expensive device to understand the idea. The first water washing across a dusty roof often carries the most debris, so separating some of that initial runoff can help keep stored water cleaner. Step 5. Turn stored water into gravity irrigation. Collecting water is only half the system. The real value appears when that stored water reaches plants without creating more work. Near the bottom of the barrel, I installed an outlet fitting connected to a hose. Because the tank sits above the garden, gravity pushes water downward. There is no electric pump, no battery, no motor. The pressure is not comparable to a household water line, but it does not need to be. Plants do not need powerful water pressure. They need moisture delivered to the root zone. That is why slow watering can actually be an advantage. Instead of spraying water high into the air where some may evaporate, or land where roots cannot use it, the stored rainwater can move gradually through a hose or simple drip arrangement. You can place small holes or emitters near plants, so moisture enters the soil slowly. The goal is not speed, the goal is efficiency. Why slow watering can be better. One of the biggest mistakes in garden irrigation is thinking that faster water is always better. When dry soil receives water too quickly, some of it can run across the surface before penetrating deeply. Slow application gives the soil more time to absorb moisture. That can encourage water to move deeper into the root zone, where plants can access it longer after irrigation stops. This matters particularly during hot weather. A quick splash may make the surface look wet, while deeper soil remains dry. A slower soak can be far more useful. So this simple gravity system is not powerful because it moves huge amounts of water quickly. It is powerful because it can deliver stored water patiently. The upgrade that makes the system much more useful. At first, you might simply connect a hose and open the outlet whenever plants need water. That already works, but the system becomes much more useful when you divide the garden into small watering zones. Instead of trying to supply the entire property at once, send water toward the plants that benefit most. Vegetable beds are one zone, young fruit trees may be another. Container plants can have their own line. This allows the limited pressure from gravity to remain useful. It also prevents you from wasting stored water on areas that do not need frequent irrigation. Remember, the objective is not to replace every drop of household water under every possible condition. The objective is to use free rainfall intelligently whenever it is available. Even partial replacement can matter, something most people forget. The soil is also a water tank. Here is where the system becomes much smarter. Your barrel is not the only place capable of storing water. Healthy soil also stores moisture. If you harvest rainwater, but pour it onto bare, compacted ground exposed to full sun, much of the benefit can disappear quickly. So I combined the water system with mulch. Around the plants, a layer of organic mulch helps shield the soil surface from direct sunlight, reduce rapid evaporation, and protect moisture underneath. This means the same amount of harvested water can remain useful for longer. Think about it this way. The barrel stores water above the ground. The soil stores water below the ground. Mulch helps protect that underground storage. When those three parts work together, the garden becomes much more resilient. What happens during a dry week? This is the moment the system begins to feel valuable. After rain, the tank is full. Then the weather becomes hot. Instead of immediately reaching for tap water, you open the stored supply and direct it toward the highest priority plants. Perhaps you have tomatoes beginning to fruit. Maybe young seedlings have shallow roots. Maybe a recently planted tree needs help establishing itself. Those are the plants that receive the rainwater first. The system turns rainfall from a temporary event into a resource you can use later. That is the real idea behind water harvesting. You are moving water through time. Rain arrives today. Your garden uses it tomorrow. Can this really give you free water? The water itself is free because it falls as rain, but no system is magically unlimited. How much you can collect depends on your roof area, rainfall, storage capacity, and climate. During a long drought, a small barrel can eventually empty. That is why I prefer to think of this system as reducing dependence on paid water, rather than promising an endless supply. In a rainy region, it may provide a large portion of garden irrigation. In a dry region, every stored liter may still be valuable. And because the system can be expanded gradually, you do not need to build a giant installation on day one. Start with one container, learn how quickly it fills, watch how much water your garden uses, then decide whether a second tank would actually help. That is much smarter than spending hundreds of dollars before understanding your own water needs. The $12 part. So where does the $12 idea come from? The secret is reuse. If you purchase a brand new tank, commercial filters, premium fittings, a pump, automatic valves, and professional irrigation equipment, this will obviously cost far more than $12. My low-cost concept assumes the main storage container and some basic materials can be reclaimed or already available. The small budget then goes toward the essential connection pieces, an outlet fitting, hose or tubing, mesh screening, and simple adapters, depending on what you already own. Costs vary dramatically by location, so the exact number is less important than the lesson. You do not necessarily need expensive technology to start harvesting rain. Sometimes the best system is simply the one you can build with materials already sitting around your home. 3 mistakes I would avoid. The first mistake is leaving the water uncovered. Always protect stored water from debris and insects. The second mistake is forgetting overflow. A full tank during heavy rain must have a controlled escape path. The third mistake is expecting a small gravity tank to behave like a high-pressure irrigation pump. Design around slow watering instead of fighting it. And there is one more important point. Rainwater harvesting rules can vary by location, so check local requirements before installing a permanent system. How I would improve this system next. If I wanted to upgrade the project without changing its basic simplicity, I would add another storage container that would immediately increase how much rain could be saved from a single storm. Then I would improve the first flush system, so less roof debris enters storage. After that, I would build a more organized gravity-fed drip network for the vegetable beds. The beauty of this design is that every improvement can be added slowly. You do not need to complete everything at once. The first version only needs to prove one thing. Can you capture water that was previously being wasted? If the answer is yes, the system is already working. The bigger lesson. I built this because I wanted cheaper garden water, but the project taught me something bigger. Many of the resources we pay for are sometimes passing through our property unnoticed. Rain lands on roofs, leaves fall from trees. Kitchen scraps enter the trash. Grass clippings get hauled away. Then we buy water, fertilizer, compost, and soil amendments to replace resources we previously discarded. A more self-sufficient garden begins when we stop seeing these materials as waste. Rain is not just weather. It is irrigation arriving before you need it. A dry leaf is not garbage. It is future organic matter. Kitchen scraps are not always waste. They can become part of the nutrient cycle. The smartest garden is not necessarily the garden with the most expensive equipment. It is often the garden that loses the least. Final result. Now, when rain begins falling, I do not only see water running down the roof, I see the storage tank filling. I see tomorrow's irrigation arriving today. I see water that would have disappeared into a drain being saved for vegetables, flowers, and young plants. And once you build even a small system like this, something changes. You begin looking around your garden differently. You start asking better questions. Where is water being wasted? Where can gravity replace electricity? What can be reused instead of purchased? What resource is leaving my property that I could keep? Those questions can save far more than $12. So before your next rainfall disappears down the drain, look at your roof, look at your garden, and imagine connecting the two. You may discover that one of the simplest garden upgrades is not about adding more water. It is about learning how to keep the water you already receive.